What is it about a P-51 that everybody seems to like? It might not be everyone's favorite warbird, but man, everybody does at least like it. It's gotta be in the top 10 for everyone out there, even if you're not an airplane person. For me, for a lot of years, it was my #1 airplane, and it might still be tied for first place. I do that a lot. And now we have this new one by E-Flite, and it's fantastic. I've flown it a couple times already on the channel, but we're back for some more action here with it because it is just that good. It's not very often we hit warbirds this often, this quickly on the channel, but this one, it's got to be one of the easiest to fly, best flying, and so far easiest to land P-51s I've ever had my hands on. I don't think it has anything to do with my skill level getting any better, because I still crash land things. So I think this is just a really good, well-made P-51. Goes right up there with the Corsair and the Trojan T-28. You guys know what I'm talking about, in the same lineup. Flies on a very common, fairly affordable battery too, a 4S 2200, and that's what we're gonna put in. Probably get a short flight today because it's really cold, but that's okay, we're still gonna have fun. Let's go. Let's go half flaps. Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that, with that prop just spinning nice and slow, those flaps at half. If we just had a real engine sound, we'd be there. Now this being a tail dragger, we're gonna shoot for a little right rudder and then stronger right rudder. You're pretty strong on that right rudder when you throttle up. When you're at the point where the speed is high enough to get the tail up, you're almost full right rudder if you want it to be pretty like that. And we are definitely getting low voltage indicators, so this is interesting. We're going flaps, landing gear up. It's super cold. It's mid-20s. Airplanes a lot of times don't like to fly in this cold weather. I've tried to keep my batteries warm, but this might be a really short flight, you guys. I'm talking might be ending this really soon. And you know what? It just happens when you have cold weather. It helps if you're in the car. There, I'm turning safe off. It flies really nicely with safe off.
Yeah, planes don't fly well in the winter, but trucks, while the battery may last a little longer, they break more easy in the winter.
Trucks snap easily in the winter. Airplanes, it's a good idea if you're gonna fly them to do your best to keep the batteries warm-ish, not hot. You don't have to set it on the heater or anything. It doesn't have to be, you know, hot battery when it goes in, but they like to be around room temperature, if at all possible. And you're going to get a better flight performance, even if it's just for a few minutes. You're not going to get low voltage alarms like I'm getting while I'm flying. I'm fairly seasoned at this, but I do occasionally push batteries too low and hurt my plane, or not the plane necessarily, if it comes crashing down, sure. But I know what to listen for. We really probably should be landing, but I want to get you guys a video. I just know that this is struggling because of the cold weather, and I want to get you guys a nice little quick flight. Let's go in for a nice sleep, Abby. It's a very, very, very scale plane. I don't really like to do anything not very scale on this. I've tried. It doesn't snap well. It doesn't love inverted flight, but maybe 15 to 20% up elevator will get you there. It rolls really well, which we all like to see a P-51 do. A little rudder input, we can do a nice big barrel roll. And it loops really well. You get these low flights like that, and it really looks like you're strafing the ground, dropping your bombs, running from the enemy planes. A little rudder input to keep that looking a little more scale. We get out of here. And don't tell me you don't make those sound effects when you're flying your warbirds too. So guys, as much as I hate this, that telemetry is telling me it's time to land. What I don't want to happen is to crash my new P-51. So my landing gear are down, and I'm going to try to bring it in for a fairly smooth landing. It's hard to make this look good. It's a lot of times really hard to land P-51s. So let's do this. I'm going to try to slow it down. Once those wheels touch down, it's actually a little bit of left rudder, which confuses me really badly.
Very nice.
Oh my goodness. Do you see that tail? How
That's your best landing yet.
That was really good. Someone explain to me, please, why on takeoff, which I do understand, it's the prop wash and torque that you have to give right rudder. But on a landing, I'm giving left rudder, and it's at low to no throttle. So someone educate me, please. I'm always learning things, and today, Farrell McGovern, I'm calling on you. Why do I give left rudder on landing, right rudder on takeoff? Farrell, come on, come on. That makes me really happy, that landing. And just so you guys know, even on takeoff, I heard my buzz, and I heard the ESC pulsing. And it's because I was pretty high on the throttle. And in the cold, these things just hate the cold. The batteries hate the cold. So I thought I'd be in good shape. I just wanted to cruise it around a little bit. And as I did, the voltage alarm, the telemetry coming back to my radio, it settled down because the battery and the ESC and stuff warmed up a little bit. And so it kind of found its happy place for a couple minutes there. I landed at 3.82 volts per cell. So my experience and knowledge on that subject, the batteries and stuff, told me, yes, I was okay. Now, I've pushed too far. I have my F-16 gray jet that I really should have paid attention to on my maiden flight, and I pushed that battery so low that I actually crashed. So it can still happen to the best of us, but I knew from just experience that I probably could fly through and push through that cold. Now in warmer weather, I'm not gonna get that kind of telemetry feedback when it's cold. It's gonna hit at the end of the battery life. And then I'm gonna get a longer flight too. You just get shorter flights, and they're just not as high performance flights in the cold. Race drone pilots know this, even car guys that race. If you were to race in the cold, you're gonna not only have a lower performance, but your things are gonna break and snap. Now, what's crazy interesting, and I talk about this on the channel pretty often, is when you fly 1 or 2 airplanes consistently, and those are your 2 main planes, you can get pretty good at flying them. It's sometimes challenging for me to get good at flying things, because not only do I fly maybe 100 different airplanes in a year or close to it, maybe not, maybe 70 or so. That's still a lot of airplanes. Variety all the time. We do helicopters and drones and cars and trucks, and we try to be fairly knowledgeable about all of it. So for me to see a noticeable improvement on a takeoff from my first flight, that first takeoff was horrible. I came at Abby and almost knocked her out at the kneecaps. So the takeoffs got better, but the landings didn't really get too much better. Now that one, I would say, because I learned, I knew, you know what, I just want to put a left rudder on this and see what happens. Those wheels touched down, and that rudder started, I started to put a little left rudder input, and that was the prettiest warbird landing I've probably ever had. Now it was a little bit, you know, get it lined up over the runway, but no one judges most people don't judge your approach, they judge when those wheels touch down. I've seen it 100 times. I've seen guys swoop in and glass it, everyone claps. I've seen guys swoop in and bounce, and everyone's like, ah, horrible landing, and you know, you make fun of each other. But then you got the guys like me that come in all wonky, looks like that someone stole the plane, and then if you do bounce it, bad landing. You can come in all wonky like that. If the wheels touch down smooth, everyone's like, man, that was a great landing. How'd you do it? Luck. I got a rabbit's foot in my pocket, that's how. So try to touch those wheels down and make it look as smooth as you can, and you'll get a golf clap every time. What a beautiful plane though. I think they did a fantastic job. E-Flite knocked this P-51 out of the park. I prefer flying it out of SAFE. I think it's a little overly sensitive in SAFE. I don't think I touched SAFE that whole flight. I believe from takeoff to landing was out of SAFE. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep it that way. AS3X helps really well. That's just my experience with SAFE on this plane, but it will help a beginner get this plane in the air, absolutely. And it'll be linked in the description box below with the battery we're flying on and everything, the radio, all that stuff, the stuff that we use to put this plane in the air. When you click that link, if you buy this plane, you're helping support our channel and our family. But maybe you're just here to have some fun. You don't really want to buy the P-51, but you've been thinking about buying that new mini crawler or a battery for that mini crawler or anything on the website we have linked below. If it's time for you to buy your new charger or whatever, please do us a favor. Click that link, pull up the P-51, but then type in your 3S 2200 milliamp battery. Buy it then. We'll get credit. It doesn't cost you anything extra. And as long as you have an account there, you earn points. Those points translate to free stuff or discounted stuff down the road. So it's actually a win-win-win. The office. And we're very grateful. On the subject of being thankful, I want to say a massive thanks to God just for warming our hearts to get out here and share this experience with you guys. I say that because it's so cold, to 20 degrees, it could be a little nicer, but he knows what he's doing, so we'll let him control the weather, and we'll get out here and take advantage of those beautiful days that he gives us and blesses us with. Finally, I want to say a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters. Because of you guys, we get to get in front of the camera, share these experiences with you guys, and we couldn't do it without your support as often as we do. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. If you want to see the improvement I'm talking about on these landings, I have one of the first couple flights I have of this. Those videos popping up right about now, worth checking out so you can see this landing compared to those landings. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.